Starting off with number 10, unconscious bias. Meghan Markle wrote to King Charles about unconscious bias in the royal family after her bombshell Oprah interview. The Duchess of Sussex's letter purportedly named the singular blame for hypothesizing about her unborn child Archie's skin tone, however, proceeded to guarantee the individual was not racist. Meghan said the remark over Archie's skin was not made with malevolence. However, according to a source who spoke with the Daily Telegraph, the Duchess will not be attending the May 6 coronation because she received an unfavorable response from the King. It is thought to have been sent in response to one from the King, who was the only high-ranking member of the family to get in touch with the Duchess after Oprah Winfrey interviewed Meghan and Harry in March 2021. Instead, Harry will be going to the May 6 celebration by himself, while Meghan looks after Prince Archie and Princess Elizabeth in Cali for Archie's 4th birthday. Even though the exchange was cordial, a royal insider said it had not eased the tension between the two sides. Relations kept on souring after the Sussexes gazed in a 6-section Netflix docuseries and the distribution of Harry's memoir, Spare. It is said that Charles, who was Prince of Wales at the time, is dissatisfied with the fact that Meghan and Harry felt the need to make such damaging allegations public. In the past, Prince Harry has spoken about unconscious bias, and in order to promote his memoir, he spoke with Tom Bradby. The moderator said, "In the Oprah interview, you blamed your relatives of bigotry." Harry answered by saying, "No, I didn't," adding, "The English press said that." Harry responded after Bradby stated that the Duchess claimed that troubling comments were made about Archie's skin color. Concern was expressed regarding his skin color. When asked if he thought that was racist, the Duke replied, "Not having been a member of that family, I wouldn't." On to number 9, protocols. Speaking of these stupid protocols, she breaks all the time apparently. According to the royal protocol, members of the royal family whose origin or status is lower are supposed to stay behind. Meghan has been ahead of Harry many times during public events, and also, even though this thing is not a big violation of the protocol, members of the family don't do that. Etiquette expert William Hanson pointed out that this is not a protocol breach and said, "Usually if you are a member of the royal family or a dignitary, you have a member of staff to open and close a car door for you," but her old habits show how shy Markle still is. Number 8, shady side. There have been a few things behind the scenes that may have made us raise our eyebrows. Whether much of these dished details pertaining to the Duchess are true, fabricated, or sensationalized, there's no denying that these shady stories certainly get people talking. In 2017, the Daily Mail pushed the limits of its Markle story quota by conducting some manner of a genealogical investigation into the alleged shared ancestry of Harry and his wife. They purportedly discovered that the two are cousins dating back to the 15th century. The connection is said to be on Markle's father's side, but is 15 generations back, so there's no need to worry about family dinners getting more awkward over the holidays. Not that it would have been the first time that someone in the royal family had married a suitor with the same genes, distant or otherwise, which has happened quite a bit within the royal family tree. Still, there's plenty of digging to be done in the present concerning the shady side of Meghan. On to number 7, pics in palace. Harry and Meghan seem to have broken royal protocol when they brought a photographer into Buckingham Palace without the Queen's permission while she was still alive. As most know, the Buckingham Palace is a big deal with strict rules that are to be followed. So naturally, seeing a picture of the couple holding hands while walking toward a door within the monarch's residence caused a stir. There is strictly no photography or filming allowed inside staterooms at the palace, and any filming or photography within the palace for commercial purposes requires permission, which was not given. Yikes, that's some drama. Harry and Meghan have reportedly also signed deals with Netflix worth over $100 million, which is causing lots of backlash. Number 6, criticism. There was a lot of criticism directed at the show Harry and Meghan when it premiered. Naturally, Palace insiders were seething with rage in response to the Netflix documentary series allegations. Trolls on the internet also attacked the trailer, calling the series hypocritical. Megyn Kelly discussed her perspective on the bullying allegations in an interview with Paul Murray of Sky News Australia and talked about how the allegations came about because Meghan in her own words, has been abandoned by her friends and family, and her wedding was filled with celebrities and no one who actually knew or loved her. Damn, Meghan hating on Meghan? Sight to see, guys. On to number 5, political. Protocol says no politics. Weird, considering your voices are heard the most. Does this actually mean we just want to be popular and look important, but avoid giving our input on major issues? Because that's what I hear. William is doing bits in making a difference even from his political views, but when Meghan does it, the media goes crazy. Sounds fair. On the royal couple's website, Archewell, a picture is posted with Meghan Markle showing off her voting sticker to urge Americans to vote on midterm election day, November 2022. The royal family members are supposed to be neutral in elections, so this may be kind of shady on Meghan's part, but to be fair, she wasn't technically born in the UK and really a member of the royal family since she's not really living there and is not a working member. But then again, people are gonna do anything to hate on Meghan. Am I right? Number 4, anti-royal Meg. Experts warn Prince Harry's newly formed and deeply damaging anti-royal beliefs are being peddled by Meghan Markle. Royal author Tom Bauer made this claim while speaking to Meghan Kelly. He started by branding the American very clever and added, "Don't think for a moment that she's not convincing quite a lot of people that somehow she was thrown to the wolves." And according to him, it's completely untrue. During the course of this interview, Mr. Bauer also questioned the they in Meghan Markle's claims about being fed to the wolves and asked, who is they? Who actually threw them to the wolves? And at that point in the chat, Miss Kelly chimed in and claimed that she thinks they've already telegraphed they is the royal family. In the first 3 episodes, Harry comes out and says there's the leaking of stories, meaning by the palace, and also the planning of stories. And he's absolutely getting ready to say that the palace, staffers, courtiers, whatever, were planning negative stories on him and her. That's what I think Meghan means clearly by they threw me to the wolves or they fed me to the wolves. If we look objectively at the couple since breaking away from the royal family, who has gotten the better end of the deal? Meghan Markle is living in LA, pitching Hollywood decision makers, voicing Disney Plus documentaries, and positioning herself as a woke cultural voice. Prince Harry has given his family the cold shoulder, severing ties with his family, and has reportedly been depressed and feeling down. The high point might have been when he was filmed reading Thomas the Tank Engine. It doesn't take a genius to figure out who's benefiting. The final straw was watching Harry throw his grandmother and all she's accomplished for the Commonwealth under the bus just to provide Meghan with yet another cause to pursue. As if that wasn't bad enough, he made a complete fool of himself by showing his lack of knowledge on the matter. Number 3, wedding drama. Meghan fought with Kate while planning her wedding. It sounds crazy, but things like that can snowball if you let them, and monarchical clans aren't exactly known for letting bygones be bygones. However, a new theory claims that Meghan's clash with the royals may have begun with something even more petty. Royal biographer Lady Colin Campbell has a new release entitled Meghan and Harry: The Real Story. In the book, Campbell claims that on Meghan's wedding day, everything was hunky-dory between the bride and her new in-laws. And a few days later, however, Meghan committed some sort of colossal faux pas at a party celebrating Prince Charles's humanitarian work. "I knew the tremendous amount of hope the royal family invested in Meghan being a success," Campbell told the Daily Star in a new interview promoting her book. "Hundreds of millions of people of color were rooting for Meghan. I was rooting for Meghan." According to Campbell, the party appeared to be going smoothly until Meghan somehow astonished a guest with impeccable palace connections. And what exactly did the Duchess say or do? Well, sadly, Lady Colin is keeping quiet for now. I can't repeat it exactly, it's in the book, but what I can say is something happened at the very first garden party at Buckingham Palace. The tea just keeps getting hotter. On to number 2, she likes her fans. So shady, guys. The royals commonly keep their distance when arriving and departing events, but Meghan often hugs fans, holds conversations, and even signs autograph books. However, she does not sign her name, as it is a precaution to make sure nobody copies and forges royalties' names. And finally, number 1, baby shower. Baby showers are not standard in Britain, but Meghan planned one in the US before the birth of Archie. Some of the celebrities in attendance were Amal Clooney, Abigail Spencer, Gayle King, and possibly, but it's never been confirmed, Serena Williams and Priyanka Chopra. Starting off with number 10, the royal affair. Nothing is shadier than being the mistress tangled into a high profile, and not to mention royal marriage. And even though it was not the best kept secret, I mean, even Diana knew what was going on. Camilla and Charles still tried their hardest to deny rumors about their affair. Because of her involvement with a married man, Camilla was seen as a villain long before Princess Diana and Charles filed for divorce. Additionally, she was resented up until the Princess of Wales' untimely passing in 1997. However, Camilla's life truly changed in the days following the tragedy. The Duchess of Cornwall was not specifically held accountable for Princess Diana's misfortune. After Diana's Paris car accident, they did, however, discover a newfound hatred for her greatest foe, causing Camilla to hide for months after the situation escalated. On to number 9, the worst kept secret. Diana and Charles split up in 92 and got a divorce in 96 after a publicly disastrous marriage. His open affair with Camilla, which was the monarchy's worst kept secret, was one of their main disagreements. In the infamous Panorama interview, Diana explained to Martin Bashir, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a little crowded." While still married, Diana and Charles split up and started seeing other people. Diana had a number of relationships, including heart surgeon Hasnat Khan and later the man she was dating when she passed away, Dodi Al Fayed. In the meantime, Charles remained with Camilla. The affair of Prince Charles is known to the general public. However, he and Camilla made an effort to keep the relationship a secret by attending and leaving at separate times to the same events. Charles was hard at work making big plans for Camilla's 50th birthday party. On to number 8, confrontation. As many know, Diana eventually decided to confront her husband's mistress about their affair just to let her know that she knew what was going on. The recording claims that Diana recalls Charles hurriedly running around to inquire about her plans. Sounds like Diana had the future king sweating. Diana told Camilla boldly, "I'd just like you to know that I know exactly what is going on," despite the Princess of Wales' claim that she was terrified of Camilla. By claiming that she had no idea what Diana was talking about, Camilla attempted to refute the allegation. Diana recalled Camilla saying that she had all the men in the world and everything she could ever want, to which Diana replied, "I just want my husband," when she was asked what else she could want. That's almost poetic. You can have everything, but if you don't have something important to you, it really feels like you got nothing. Strangely, Diana even apologized to Camilla for getting in the way of her and Charles, but she was still furious. I mean, you can't blame her, right? On to number 7, friendly with the mistress. Diana got along well with Camilla before she realized that her fiancé was in love with another woman. After the royal wedding, she even anticipated that she would be a part of her social circle. Diana, on the other hand, realized before she and Charles got married that despite the fact that she was married at the time, he was close to a former flame. When she saw Camilla in the church on her wedding day, Princess Diana said she wondered if she was making a mistake. And not to mention, another shady moment is Camilla attending the wedding of Charles and Diana. I mean, this relationship was just doomed from the start. Number 6, not the queen's choice. Alright, if the queen herself does not like you, let's just say that is a bright red flag. Camilla had a history that rubbed the royal family the wrong way, but she still weaseled her way into the family, convincing a lot of people that she was only using Charles for his money. The extramarital affair rocked the crown to his foundation and put the final nail in the coffin of Princess Diana and Prince Charles' strained marriage. Queen Elizabeth was furious more than anyone else, so much that the Duchess was not even allowed to enter the palace for some time. The Queen finally agreed to meet with Camilla in the year 2000 because the late monarch had refused to meet her before then. Talk about a toxic relationship between the in-laws. On to number 5, unfit for the King of England. Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla first met in the early 1970s, and the prince fell in love right away after they were introduced by friends. Penny Juror, a royal biographer, wrote in the Duchess was not in any way overawed by him, not fawning or sycophantic. According to Camilla, even though they shared a strong bond, Camilla accepted the proposal from her on and off boyfriend, Andrew, after the prince was sent off with the Royal Navy in 1973. Even if things had turned out well for the two of them, the palace did not think Camilla would make a good fit for the king. She didn't come from an aristocratic family, which was very important back then. Number 4, not accepted by the stepkids. Princes William and Harry have set strong boundaries regarding the relationship with their dad's wife. Prince William made it clear that the newly appointed queen consort will never fill the role of his late mother, Princess Diana. Apparently, the Prince of Wales does not want Camilla trying to get close with his children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. According to William, his kids have 2 grandfathers but only 1 grandmother. It makes sense that he would want to make sure that his late mother, Princess Diana, isn't erased from the picture now that Charles is remarried. William considered her bossy, mean-spirited, and thoughtless. Yikes again, Camilla. It's like she doesn't even care to be liked by anyone other than Charles. Will was so furious to find out newspapers published a photo of Camilla planting a kiss on his father's cheek in public. The young prince saw it as a slap in the face of his mother just 4 days before what would have been her 40th birthday. Now, do you think Will is being dramatic, or is he right to try to leave Camilla out of his own family picture? Let me know what you think in the comments. And on to number 3, Harry versus Camilla. Speaking of the princes, if you've ever wondered how Harry feels about his stepmom, apparently it's somewhat complicated. Harry doesn't have great respect for Camilla and has pretty much no interest in starting a close relationship with her. I mean, obviously we aren't surprised to know King Charles' sons are not at all happy with him ditching their mom for his mistress. And Harry and William were initially very happy to welcome Camilla into the royal family because she kept in the background and didn't interfere. But then something shifted. It was revealed that part of the reason Harry and his wife Meghan fled the UK was because of racist comments Camilla allegedly made about their then unborn son Archie. Here we go again with more racist allegations. Someone needs to find a way to educate this family, honestly. According to Harry, someone speculated about what his future child would look like. In one version, Camilla made a statement saying, "Wouldn't it be funny if your child had ginger afro hair?" Camilla, you're already hated on, and adding races to the reasons people hate you is not a good look. Harry and Meghan allegedly left the UK in part because of Camilla, not people running away to avoid her. Insiders also claimed in June that Harry was still not a fan of Camilla because he had not forgotten his late mother, Princess Diana's comments about the Queen consort having an affair with his father. On to number 2, wearing the princess's jewelry. After finding out the famous mistress to Prince Charles wore a piece of jewelry once owned by Princess Diana, the public had new reasons to diss Camilla, and leaving us all confused on why she thought it was a good idea to make that bold decision. They may be married now, but that's still no excuse. Wearing jewelry owned by the ex-wife of your husband just feels so wrong and unhinged. People think Camilla reached a new level of disrespect by wearing what was once Princess Diana's. The emerald and diamond necklace was gifted to Princess Diana by the Queen and returned to the royal vault after Diana had tragically passed away, but recently, in 2016, Camilla was spotted wearing the piece. It was turned into a brooch, so the piece was more subtle. But it wasn't fooling anyone that Camilla was wearing what didn't belong to her. Here she goes again, taking stuff from Diana even beyond the grave. Of all the jewelry she could wear from the vaults, she decided on an extremely controversial piece. So do you think it was wrong for Camilla to wear the late princess's jewelry, or was this an attempt for the mistress to pay her respects to the late princess? And finally, number 1, the other woman. Camilla was once known as the other woman during her affair with King Charles, which later turned into a relationship and eventual marriage. Camilla has been hated on mostly because fans and supporters felt she came between Charles and the late Diana. So there's no shock Princess Diana was never a fan of Camilla. During Diana and Charles's honeymoon, Diana found love letters from Camilla to Charles on her honeymoon. Yikes. I know Charles was sleeping on the couch their whole trip after that revelation. Like Charles, if you're gonna cheat, at least try to hide the evidence better. Finding out you're being cheated on during your honeymoon is definitely a different kind of pain. On their honeymoon, Prince Charles wore the cufflinks that Camilla had gifted him, which also upset Diana. It was also reported that a picture of Camilla slipped out of Charles's diary at that time. These were just 2 of several blatant warning signs that Charles was not in love with his wife. Anyway, what would we do without this juicy royal family drama? And also shout out Netflix's The Crown for giving us the gift of seeing a pretty good representation about this drama. Starting off with number 10, isolating Meghan. An insider told us in August 2019 that Meghan feels that there is a standard set very high by Princess Kate. That the British public sees her in that light is depressing because when she lived in the UK, she was exposed to cruel British media and felt isolated. She cannot defend herself because her hands are tied. The LA native compared the stories that were written about her to those that were written about Kate, when she talked about how the press treated her differently before Harry and her royal exit became permanent. Meghan recalled, "If members of his family say, well, this is what happened to all of us, or if they can compare my experiences to what has been shared with us, Kate was called Waity Katie waiting to marry William. While I do believe that was extremely challenging, I am unable to imagine how it felt. This is different. Racist and rude are not the same thing. In a similar vein, you have a press team that goes on record to defend you, particularly when they are aware that some things are false. We did not experience that." Number 9, private secretary. Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, has not always had a smooth time because of the numerous critiques that have been hurled her way. Now there is another. Due to rumors that she might be extremely toxic, the Duchess has a reputation as being a very challenging employer to work for. Kate Middleton used to be a bad person since she was a kid, according to some comments Prince Harry made in his book Spare, and he even called her challenging to deal with. Even when she made bigoted remarks about him and his wife Meghan Markle, according to the Duke, she occasionally made life a little difficult for them. As new rumors about the Duchess surface, it is alleged that Kate Middleton has not changed at all, and that despite her portrayal as the people's princess, she is still a tough and toxic individual, according to her secretaries. Kate received harsh criticism on social media because 3 of her secretaries have left in the last 5 years. This supports Prince Harry's theory that she is conflicted and frequently exceeds her authority, making her a challenging boss to work for. Number 8, Fab Four split. It is no secret that the Fab Four didn't last very long. Prince William, Kate Middleton, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle were going to revolutionize the British monarchy, and when they started out, it seemed as if they were a dream team who would actually modernize the royal institution. Unfortunately, the vision failed, and with it, the family ties were broken. As far back as 2018, the Times reported that William and Harry had decided to part ways. A source told the outlet the brothers have leaned on each other and looked after each other since their mother passed away. But even their relationship had to change, and the source revealed they have become different people with different outlooks on life. Then Megxit occurred in 2020 and things spiraled out of control. Harry and Meghan spoke to Oprah in a controversial tell-all interview where the Duchess of Sussex accused Kate of making her cry before her wedding. Apparently, Will was furious after the interview because it put his wife in a bad light. And he then became very protective over Kate per people. Will they ever be able to come together again as a family and stop airing their dirty laundry? As for Kate and Will, they have faced so many challenges together. Number 7, keeping their distance. The women stood near now Queen Camilla at the late Queen's London funeral in September 2022, but the Duchess of Sussex appeared to physically distance herself from them. Maybe she wanted to give them space or needed some time to think and reflect. I mean, it's possible that she stood back because she believes their relationship is strained. When you don't feel emotionally connected to someone, you tend to keep your distance physically. Number 6, Harry. Harry once explained how the bonds between Harry and his brother, father, and the institution itself had frayed over the decades. The eventual collapse of those relationships had not come out because of his wife Meghan Markle. It does give a full picture of the situation as we were growing up, Harry said of his memoir Spare during his interview with Cooper. It also squashes this idea that somehow my wife was the one that destroyed the relationship between the two brothers. It was evident from the book's early leaks that Harry was prepared to address his troubled relationship with his brother first and foremost. Whether claiming William provoked the actual battle in 2019 in which he pushed Harry to the floor and broke a dog bowl that cut his back, or naming his sibling an arch nemesis while examining their serious kin contention with both Cooper and Good Morning America's Michael Strahan. Harry likewise blamed his siblings' office for releasing negative data about him to the English sensationalist newspapers and uncovered that he had not spoken in that frame of mind while an article in the Hours of London ventured to depict Harry's journal as a character death of the Prince of Wales. However, in the past, Harry's dissatisfaction with the royal family was attributed to a different relationship, which was mentioned on social media and the front pages of British tabloids. His love affair with Meghan, the slang term for their sudden departure Megxit, suggests that the Duchess was the driving force behind their move to Montecito. Number 5, Kate versus Meghan. Meghan has borne the brunt of criticism for Harry's falling out with the family, and for a time, it was Meghan and Kate's relationship that was widely reported to be the primary source of tension between the Wales and the Sussexes. After a news report broke that the two women got into a fight over bridesmaid dresses, the narrative of a feud between them quickly took hold in the tabloids, describing them as clashing wives. By March 2019, Kensington Palace released an unprecedented statement saying that they would start monitoring and even deleting social media comments believed by many to be a response to the onslaught of vitriol on social media prompted by rumors of Kate and Meghan's falling out. Meanwhile, William and Harry's relationship, which as we know now has rapidly deteriorated, received nowhere near the same amount of scrutiny. This isn't to say that the two women were best friends. Harry describes the British tabloid system's constant comparison of them as creating an awkward and even tense dynamic. I always hoped that the four of us would get on, but very quickly it became Meghan versus Kate, he wrote in Spare, and that, when it plays out so publicly, you can't hide from that. On to number 4, sued for topless pics. When Kate Middleton and Prince William took a summer vacation to France in 2012, a photographer snapped pictures of the Duchess of Cambridge while she was sunbathing topless. According to The Guardian, the now Wales sued Closer and French newspaper La Provence for publishing the photographs. Prince William said of the situation, "In September 2012, my wife and I thought we could go to France for a few days in a secluded villa owned by a member of my family and thus enjoy our private vacation. The clandestine way in which the photographs were taken was particularly shocking to us as it breached our privacy." The court ruled in Kate and William's favor and the couple received damages. Number 4, disagreements. Even though there have been instances of minor disagreements between the two, it is safe to say that the media is known to exaggerate the situation. The rumors seem to keep coming, maybe because people don't know how two powerful women can see each other as friends rather than foes, or because they want to show that the royal family is just as chaotic as any other family. When the two couples became one in 2017, the entire world was quick to recognize the new quartet as a royal force, but it wasn't long before stories started coming out that showed a very different picture. It wasn't clear at first why Markle wouldn't have been there, but it was later reported that she decided not to go because of a headline on the front page of The Sun that read, "In the wedding of the Rears, Meghan is competing with Pippa." Biography Finding Freedom says Meghan had carefully planned her wedding outfit to be stylish without being splashy, according to Harry and Meghan, and the making of a modern royal family. However, after the headline about the women's backsides, she ultimately decided to pull out of the event. I mean, I would too. According to the book, Harry and Meghan agreed that she couldn't possibly turn up at the church. Now they had no doubt it would, the statement reads. They worried their arrival might create a media circus despite taking every precaution. Meghan and Harry weren't happy with what they saw after Netflix released the first clip from their docuseries. This was especially true because the trailer's release coincided with their first trip to the US in 8 years. The release of the Netflix trailer left Kate and William baffled, and of course the relationships are even more strained because of that. Number 2, tension. In March 2021, a source exclusively told us that the Spare author and the princess haven't spoken directly in over a year following their tell-all interview. The insider said that the women's tension was getting worse and their husbands continued to fight, despite the fact that the women reconciled following the drama surrounding their wedding, which Meghan discussed in the tell-all. Their differences prevented them from developing a full friendship. According to the insider, Kate and Meghan didn't see eye to eye when it came to day-to-day life in that palace, but they did get along in the beginning of their relationship. And finally, number 1, dress dilemma. Even though they frequently presented a united front with their royal spouses, whispers of a rivalry between the two women quickly emerged. In 2018, there were rumors that the TIG founder had a heated conversation with Kate over Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid dress before Harry and Meghan got married. The alleged incident was brought up by Meghan nearly 3 years later. In their first major televised interview since their transition from senior workers became permanent in February 2021, Meghan stated the reverse of that happened. She was upset about flower girl dresses a few days before the wedding, which made me cry. I was really hurt by it. Even though Meghan acknowledged that the damaging narrative that was being told was hard to get over, she was able to forgive Prince William's wife. At the time, Meghan recalled she was upset about something, but she owned it and she apologized. She expressed her regret by sending me flowers and a note. She also did what I would do if I knew I'd hurt someone. She took responsibility. Starting off with number 10, unfit for the King of England. Prince Charles and Camilla first met in the early 70s, and the prince fell in love right away after they were introduced by friends. Penny Jur, a royal biographer, wrote in the Duchess was not in any way overawed by him, not fawning or sycophantic. According to Camilla, even though they shared a strong bond, Parker Bowles accepted the proposal from her on and off boyfriend Andrew after the prince was sent off with the Royal Navy in 1973. Even if things had turned out well for the two of them, the palace didn't think Camilla would make a good fit for the king. She did not come from an aristocratic family, which was very important back then. On to number 9, the royal affair. This one is no big shocker. The Princess of Wales was very much aware of Charles cheating on her with Camilla. His mistress at the time was regarded as a villain long before Princess Diana and Charles filed for divorce. On top of that, she was resented up until the Princess of Wales' untimely passing in 1997. However, Camilla's life truly changed in the days following that tragic incident. The Duchess of Cornwall was not specifically held accountable for Princess Diana's misfortune, and after Diana's passing in the Paris car accident, they did, however, discover a newfound hatred for her greatest foe. And because of that hatred, Camilla had to hide for months as the situation escalated. If Camilla had never gotten herself in this mess with Charles, being one of the most hated royals would have never been something she'd have to worry about. But it makes you question, if he cheated on Diana, who knows if he's cheated on Camilla too? And on top of that, being able to successfully hide it from her, even though he failed to do so from Diana. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Number 8, the palace staff. The Prince of Wales' affair with the Duchess of Cornwall, which occurred while Charles was married to Princess Diana, is well known to royal family followers. And it is safe to assume that some members of the royal family are dissatisfied with the fact that their affair is getting screen time on Netflix's The Crown, making it by far one of the biggest royal relationship scandals. However, juicy details about their affair are harder to come by. In a well-known interview with News of the World in '95, the prince's valet Ken Stronach shared shocking details about Charles's affair. He was even fired because of his breach of confidentiality. Stronach claimed at the time that he scrubbed grass stains from Charles's PJs after the prince would sneak out of bed in the middle of the night to meet with Camilla. Charles even made sure his staff made his bed look like he slept there by ruffling it up. It was very elaborate, but no one was fooled by it. The valet claimed he had become ill as a result of the strain of keeping Charles's secrets. On to number 7, backlash. Charles's troubled past has been exposed numerous times now that he is king. He was accused of trying to get the British government to do some shady business. A senior member of parliament dubbed Charles Britain's best informed lobbyist after it was revealed in 2015 that he had received secret documents about the British government's inner workings that not even elected ministers had seen. The royal engaged in personal lobbying efforts to senior politicians about a variety of topics, including illegal fishing of the Patagonian toothfish and orders of military helicopters during the Iraq War, according to 27 memos that were provided to The Guardian and dubbed the Black Spider memos due to Charles's scrawl. Clarence House stated at the time that it is typical for heirs to the throne to be briefed on political topics. However, critics argued that members of the royal family should avoid politics. King Charles's political activism raises questions of whether he'll be a political outspoken monarch. Would he try to use his role in the unwritten constitution to influence the British government's policies and thinking more than his mother probably ever wanted to? Number 6, confrontation. Princess Diana felt she had to give her husband's mistress a piece of her mind after being advised by friends to ignore suspicions of an affair between her husband, Prince Charles, and longtime friend Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana told Camilla boldly, "I'd just like you to know that I know exactly what is going on," despite the Princess of Wales' claim that she was terrified of Camilla. By claiming that she had no idea what Diana was talking about, Camilla attempted to refute the allegation. Diana recalled Camilla saying that she had all the men in the world and everything she could ever want. Diana replied to Camilla, "I want my husband," when she was asked what else she would want. Number 5, the unwelcome mistress. The British public's acceptance of Camilla as Charles's lover was put on hold after Diana's passing. And even though it seemed illogical, Diana's passing made Camilla a supervillain in the royal saga. Camilla was not seen in public for 8 months following the tragedy due to Diana's passing and the subsequent backlash. Number 4, revealing the big secret. Charles and Camilla probably would have married much earlier if Diana had survived and gotten married as expected. Instead, for a number of years, they kept their relationship under wraps and out of the public eye. In 2004, the Prince of Wales tied the knot with his longtime partner. She chose not to style her name as Princess of Wales, Diana's former title, even though she technically could have done so out of respect for her. Number 3, the royal family versus Camilla. Even though Charles and Camilla's relationship was very serious, Camilla was viewed negatively by the royals. For one thing, she was thought to be an experienced woman, which made her a no-go for the royal family when it came to finding Prince Charles a wife. In addition, she was not thought to be sufficiently aristocratic to be a princess. But somehow she beat all odds, and here she is now, the queen consort. As the notorious third member of Princess Diana and then Prince Charles's marriage, she faces criticism constantly, resembling the evil stepmother from fairy tales. In the memoir Spare, Prince Harry says that she was trying to get rid of her other woman reputation and be seen as a legitimate royal wife by bargaining with the British tabloid media at his expense. On to number 2, jealousy. During Charles's marriage to Princess Diana, he had his first significant encounter with disapproving public opinion. Archival footage of the couple touring Australia in the new HBO documentary The Princess suggests that he was jealous of how much more popular she was. Diana confirmed that Charles envied the public's devotion to his wife in her explosive 95 interview with Martin Bashir. She said, "We'd be going around Australia, for instance, and all you could hear was, 'Oh, she's on the other side.'" Diana subsequently clarified that the waiting crowds were expressing their disappointment that Charles was closer to them rather than Diana, explaining they weren't on the right side to wave at me or to touch me. Considering at the time Charles was a future king, the fragile ego is a toxic trait, and who's to say he isn't like that towards Camilla now? And finally, into number 1, not the queen's choice. It is not a secret that the extramarital affair between Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla rocked the crown to its foundation and put the final nail in the coffin of Princess Diana and Prince Charles's strained marriage. Queen Elizabeth was furious more than anyone else. So much that the Duchess was not allowed to enter the palace for some time. That is some juicy drama. In point of fact, she only had a meeting with the Queen in the year 2000 because the late monarch had refused to meet her before then. But they prevailed, and clearly they're still going strong today. Let me know what your thoughts are on this very interesting couple. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.